What's up, everyone? The stock market blasted to the upside today. In today's video, we're going to take a look at some of the best setups in the market right now. We're going to talk about why the market is actually doing what it's doing right now. Tom, looking at the heat map today, basically stocks from all different industries just ripped to the upside. What's happening?
Yeah, it was insane. The overall market had a humongous explosion. And the main reason that this is happening is because I think the confidence is actually coming back into the banking sector. So First Republic Bank was one of those regional banks that was really getting hit here. And you can see on the daily chart, they were at $120 a couple weeks ago. They fell down to recent lows of 17, but today they had a lot of upwards price action in the middle of the day as they started to actually get some backing from some of these other bigger banks. Now, some of these other banks are JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and multiple other banks are trying to band together to help some of the smaller banks here. Specifically, it says JP Morgan, Bank of America are a couple of them. So I'm sure that there's a lot, though, going into them at the end of the day. But it's good to see these banks coming back to the upside, Mike. Like it's been a long time, obviously, since we've seen a bad situation like this happen, and it really scared the market. We started to see the S&P 500 dip down a lot. But today, that confidence came back, and the SPY broke out of that recent channel and even got above that 394 resistance, which was huge for this past week and even from Friday as well.
Yeah, and what's very interesting is like the banking slash financial industry is one of those industries that affects everyone in one way or another because, just the banking system is just connected to everything and all of these companies across the market. So just like you were saying, Tom, it's awesome to see that, people are becoming a little bit less frightened about what's actually happening with these bank stocks. And, we're slowly seeing more confidence come back into these companies.
Yeah, we are. And if we look at the heat map, it was actually a pretty green day for the banking industry overall. Like US Bank was in the green, JP Morgan, Bank of America, but we did get some red guys like Schwab, obviously, was looking pretty rough there, and a couple others. But, it's good to see that confidence coming back. And I thought that was part of the big reason why the S&P 500 just had such a big midday explosion. Now, I know that, we keep talking about banks and the SPY, but some of these individual stocks were fantastic. Like AMD, for example, had an amazing day, up over 7.72%. Snapchat was up over 7.2% as well, as there was some news with TikTok this morning. Roblox was recovering. Nvidia had an amazing day as well. Even Amazon had a huge breakout. So it was just a crazy day, Mike. So many stocks were running up, and it was just a fantastic day for the market overall. And we just got that huge continuation off yesterday, which we were hoping for. And it's amazing to see it happen here.
Exactly. And I know you mentioned some news with TikTok, and some stocks were really, really running off of that news. Snapchat had a hell of a day, just like you said. But we also can't forget about Meta, which exploded by almost 4%, but I would say even Google had a better day, relatively speaking. This thing just blasted to the upside basically all day long, and all of these stocks have something to gain in the event TikTok struggles. Google has YouTube Shorts, Snapchat is Snapchat, but Meta has, Instagram Reels and all their stuff with Facebook. So, Tom, tell us more about this TikTok situation and what some of these US social media companies have to gain from it.
Yeah, so apparently we've heard a lot about TikTok potentially being banned over the past couple of years, and it looks like the Biden administration is now demanding that TikTok be sold or risk that ban. Now, there is a lot of pushback by TikTok on this. Their CEO is actually saying that a sale will not solve the security concerns. And they are saying that there's actually plans in place to actually store Americans' data using Oracle, maybe their cloud, or obviously they're going to somehow store it with Oracle, which is an American company. So that's obviously their plan right now. And their CEO is pretty much saying that a sale will not change the security concerns that everybody's worried about. But nonetheless, the Biden administration is really trying to get this ban going here. And it's going to be a pretty bad thing potentially for TikTok. If this ban happens, you could see huge jumps in other industries or other companies that will do the same thing as TikTok, which is create short videos anywhere from, a few seconds all the way up to a minute plus. I know they've been making updates and stuff like that, but that's generally how it's been. I know Google has the YouTube Shorts, Facebook has the Instagram Reels and the Meta Reels, and I don't know, Mike. It's crazy out there with how some of these stocks are moving, and I don't even know how to think with the TikTok situation. I hope that they don't get banned, but I don't know. It sounds like there's a pretty high risk of it right now.
Yeah, I mean, you would think given all of these like repetitive attacks on TikTok with these security concerns, it sounds pretty serious, So I feel like the government isn't, just targeting TikTok for no reason. So I do think there could be some serious security concerns with it. And, I do think ultimately US companies like Meta and Google have a lot to gain if TikTok does end up getting banned in the US.
Yeah, they really will. And that's the big thing about this, guys. And what was awesome today is that Google broke out above 100, which was fantastic. So Google is breaking out above a humongous psychological resistance, which is amazing. They might get a nice continuation here for the next couple of days if this momentum keeps up. And Meta also had a huge break above $200 here today. So we're seeing two huge stocks here breaking out above key levels. Now, Snapchat was running up too. They got above $10 the past couple days in a pretty big way, but it wasn't the breakout that we saw with, Meta or Google. So it's just awesome. We're getting amazing breakouts with this news of TikTok coming in, and it could definitely be great for some of these stocks, and keep them on the radar for some nice continuation plays here. Even like the daily chart of Meta looks pretty enticing here.
There we go. So back to the overall market with SPY. Just like a couple days ago, Tom, last week, the stock market was in free fall. There was a ton of panic with all these bank stocks and, it was a bloodbath. But here we are with the SPY blasting to the upside. Where do we stand in terms of key levels for SPY? The sentiment has been pretty mixed over like the past couple days and weeks. What are the main levels to watch?
Yeah, it was amazing for us to actually get out above that upper range of the channel here, up above 394 today. I did not think that where we were early this morning that we would be able to break out up above here. So that was amazing for us to get here. Over the next couple days, we need to really watch this 400 to 401 resistance. That is a humongous area overhead. Anywhere from 400 to 401, I think we could see a bounce in that range. Before we get to there, though, I do see some more resistance right around 396.50, which is a huge level where we actually closed today. Past there, I see another level around 398 that we could potentially watch intraday. Now, some of these levels might be bigger than others, and on an intraday basis, we might blast above these if we have enough momentum. But I think that this 396.50 resistance where we are at close is going to be pretty big. And the main thing I'm going to watch is that 400 level. I think that should be huge for the next week or so.
Exactly. But Tom, let's say everything turns around again, and let's say we wake up tomorrow in pre-market, we have everything down 2%. For those downside levels, what are you seeing?
Oh, don't scare me like that, Mike. But if it does happen, 394, which was that big level that we got above today, would be an amazing area of support. And the reason why I'm going to pick on this level, or it's not even picking on it, honestly, commending the level, is because we actually blasted above it today, had a lot of price action as we broke out above it, and then we actually confirmed off of it again, right in the middle of the day there. So that was an awesome confirmation. So use 394 as a big support, and even 390 to 391 down here. Those are going to be some huge levels if the SPY does fall down. But let's pray that we get this nice continuation up, Mike, because those intraday plays today had a lot of potential.
There we go. So, Tom, what is on the schedule for earnings? I know it's nothing crazy, but what do we have to end the week?
Yeah, so we obviously are pretty much done with the week. We do have XPEV tomorrow, though, a pretty big Chinese company, or I should say XPeng. Their ticker symbol is XPEV. Everybody usually calls them XPEV. And looking at the stock, Mike, they were up 2.84% today. It's a Chinese EV company. You never know how these stocks might go. Sometimes these stocks could report good earnings, and blast up 20-30% sometimes in a given day. But if they go bad, it could be the same thing to the downside. So keep your eyes on this one tomorrow morning. Should be pretty volatile at least.
Sounds good. Well, here's actually a perfect transition opportunity into some setups for tomorrow. So I'm actually looking at a stock, Lucid, LCID, pretty closely. It's an electric vehicle company, somewhat similar to XPEV, or, the stock you were just talking about. And I saw a lot of bullish options activity on Lucid going out over the next couple weeks. In addition to that, Lucid is pretty close to double bottoming on the daily chart, and it's making higher lows over the past couple weeks. So overall, I'm a little bit bullish on Lucid in the short term, but I think it'll ultimately go hand in hand with this XPEV earnings tomorrow. Like, if they crush it on earnings, I think Lucid has potential to rip as well. But at the same time, just like you said, these types of stocks are super crazy. So it's like, we could also see that downside disaster as well. But either way, I'm watching Lucid to the upside in the short term.
Yeah, and it's awesome to see that Lucid had that nice uptrend today. They really followed the other growth stocks and that whole trend in the market. So that was awesome. And with my first play of the day, Mike, it's actually going to be going over one of the big plays from yesterday, which was NVIDIA, because NVIDIA had a ton of momentum. And we're going to check this out on the daily chart. But yesterday, we had this thing breaking out above 240, 242.50 to 244. And I will say that was quite the breakout this morning. We ended up running all the way up to 255. I'm sure if you played this, you didn't hold it that long. But what a play on NVIDIA. I think this could possibly be a good continuation tomorrow on the daily. This thing is getting very overextended, but at the same time, it has a lot of momentum. So for an intraday play, if we break above 256, I will be watching it for a potential call play in the morning. I think there's definitely potential for continuation, especially since we got out of this big range that we've been trading in for just about a month now.
All righty. Stock I'm watching pretty closely for tomorrow is Tilray. Good old Tilray. It's a marijuana stock. Basically, this one had some pretty solid volume and momentum today. It closed up around 10%, which is something you definitely don't see every day with Tilray. Basically, there was some pretty good news today with this one. Janet Yellen, when she was testifying, basically said that regulators are looking for solutions for these banking law prohibitions against these marijuana companies, because there's a lot of, weird laws and just problems that these marijuana companies face on a federal level. So obviously, any type of news like that would be great for Tilray. Tilray is one of those stocks where it's like, when it's moving to the upside, it tends to move with some serious momentum. But when it's not moving, it's just like a slow fade down.
Yeah, it really is. And it's been in that fade pattern for a long, long time now. And they're actually, what's pretty crazy is they're like triple or quadruple bottoming here off this like $2.30 to $2.50 support that goes all the way back to 2020. So I kind of like this level, Mike. I think Tilray could be awesome. And that news with the banking industry is going to really help them out, I think, especially if they actually start getting something done. I've been hearing news about this for a little while now, and, stuff hasn't really went through. So hopefully, they start to actually get the news or get these bills and laws going, but it's going to probably take a while. These marijuana bills and everything, they've been taking a long time to finally go through. But my second play of the day is actually going to be Snapchat, of course. So Snapchat had a ton of momentum today. And what I like about this one is, if we look at Google, it had a huge breakout all throughout the day. But Snapchat actually consolidated and has like a quadruple top almost intraday going around like $11.15 to $11.25. If we break like 11:20 in the morning, I will be watching for a continuation out of this. I think it can definitely go up with this TikTok news. And I will say Snapchat has also been bouncing off some key supports lately too.
Boom. Yeah, like you said, it could definitely move with that TikTok news. Snapchat's a company that's just been beaten down so badly over like the past couple of years. Right now it's lingering right around $11 a share. And, just back in, I guess you could say the end of 2021, this stock was trading for $83 a share. So it's definitely been taking a beating, but, any good news can at least make it pop up a little bit with some good momentum.
Yeah, exactly. And this TikTok news today is like just grade A news for stocks like this. Like we really need this TikTok news to really help continue to help these other stocks. And it should, especially if the ban does go through, because that's a pretty big platform whenever I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm sure that there's millions upon millions of people who use that app daily in the US.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a powerhouse for sure. So good stuff there. But Tom, it is now time for the momentum plays. With today's first one, we have Neo to the upside.
NIO, that'd be awesome if they had a nice continuation here, make them break out above that high of day, just above $8.50 at 8.54.
Sounds good. With the next one, we have Square, aka Block, also to the upside.
Yeah, this was an amazing breakout today as well. Go ahead and make them break above that high of day right around 76.50, and that's the high of intraday, keep in mind, not pre-market.
All right. And then with the last one, we have Amazon, but we need both directions.
AMZN. Yeah, what a breakout. And they got all the way up to $100. What's up with all these key stocks in the market being around such huge psychological levels all at the same exact time? But go ahead and make them break out above 101 to the upside. And if they fall back under 99.50, watch for some puts. I wouldn't be surprised if they fell back under 100 either.
All right, you guys heard Tom. So we have that upside level for potential day trade to the upside tomorrow with this one. We also have that downside level for potential day trade down. And then don't forget about SQ and NIO for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow. But it is now time for my favorite part of the video, and that is the big money trade of the day. We had $1.31 million go into the CPRX 15 strike call options that expire on June 16th of 2023. You probably hear CPRX and you're like, what company is this? And my answer to that is exactly, right? Like no one's ever heard of this company, but it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing when it comes to unusual options activity. So we have a lot to go over with this one. Essentially, it's a biopharmaceutical company. These stocks are as crazy as they come, extreme moves in both directions, and they move a lot based off the news. This specific play is essentially a bet that this stock is going to boom to the upside, but there is some time with it. The expiration's on June 16th of 2023. So it's like, if it doesn't rise tomorrow, don't be surprised. It might take a couple weeks, but essentially these types of stocks move big time off news. If they have any good news with the FDA, or if they have good outlooks with one of their drugs that they're making, that can be huge for a stock like this. And Tom, it's definitely tempting.
Yeah, it really is. That was a huge candle today. Like, look at this daily chart here. Usually don't get candles like this unless it starts going on a pretty big run. So I like that. Hopefully it has a nice continuation over the next few days. But like you said, there is some time on this. So keep that in mind, guys. It might not move necessarily in the short term, but I am hopeful considering that it looks like they're having a nice post-earnings move here, and we might see a nice continuation off of that. And what I also like is that they're not really correlated to the SPY at all. This is one of the worst correlations I've actually seen, Mike. So I like that in the sense that, at least it's going to do its own thing. Like even if the market shoots back down off some bad bank news or something like that, CPRX can definitely hold up a little bit better. So I like that as far as this stock goes. And, we've been seeing a lot of money go into a lot of amazing plays lately. It's just nice to see another $1 million plus play here. I think that there's definitely potential with that 9% move today. Like what a move.
Yeah, let's go. So I'll definitely have my eyes on this one over the next couple weeks. It's definitely a very interesting play. And, sometimes with some of these companies that we've never heard of before, they actually end up being some of the better plays because unfortunately, they're easier to manipulate. So, the person that dropped $1.3 million into this might be this is just speculation, but, they might be an executive at this company. We don't know, but either way, when you put $1.3 million into a play like this, you definitely, hopefully, have a good reason behind it.
Yeah, you would hope so, right? Like it's not all the time, people just start throwing this type of money at options of all things, especially on a company like this of all of them. So yeah, it's not like this is like Apple or something where we see millions of dollars flow into these options all the time. Like this is Catalyst Pharmaceuticals here.
There we go. All right, Tom. So heading into tomorrow, we're setting an interesting situation. We're coming off a lot of positive movement, especially with the tech stocks today. Do you have any final thoughts or anything else you're looking at?
Yeah, all I have to say is, I hope that we get that nice continuation tomorrow, and I think that we have a good chance to maybe start to push 399 to 400 on the SPY if we get some momentum. But I'll be honest, I would not be surprised if somehow we woke up and there was a reversal here. It seems like every time lately we start to get a big breakout, there's something that comes in the very next day or same day that ends up pushing us lower again. Hopefully, we're finally breaking out of some of these lows and getting back into like a nice recovery phase here. But, it's one of those factors with all these bank stocks having going on what's going on right now with the failures and, banks having to be helped by bigger banks right now or else they would fail. It's becoming pretty scary out there. So just keep in mind, while there was a lot of momentum today, we've been in a chop fest the past couple months. It's like we've just been stuck in a big range. So hopefully, we get that nice breakout come in.
There we go. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll see our videos recommended to you more often. But we also want to give a giant shout out to today's member of the day, USA in the StockedUp Discord. You've been in the chat for 2.5 years now, and your activity has definitely been increasing over the past week. So definitely make sure to keep it up. Besides that, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's end the week on a strong note.